setup, the S20 Ultra had the 108 megapixel wide-angle lens, 48 megapixel periscope telephoto lens, and a 12 megapixel ultra-wide sensor with that 0.3 megapixel depth sensor, where the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra has that 108 megapixel wide-angle lens, 10 megapixel periscope telephoto lens, 10 megapixel telephoto lens, then a 12 megapixel ultra-wide sensor. So we do have a kind of like an additional lens on the S21 Ultra, even though we had that depth sensor on the S20 Ultra. Now, they both can do 8K, they both can kind of do the same thing, they have the same things going on, but what I can tell you is that the S20 Ultra's camera is still extremely beautiful. This is a solid camera for sure. And it's really hard to just like justify upgrading, going from an S20 Ultra to the S21 Ultra because of the camera. They pretty much have the same exact thing going on. And I'm so glad, the S20 Ultra had a beautiful camera. And if it's anything like that on the S21 Ultra, I'll take it. Now the S21 Ultra is probably a little bit better, but you are going to have a really good camera setup on the S20 Ultra regardless. Now the S21 Ultra does bring a kind of a better telephoto lens overall. I did find that the rest of the sensors are about the same. The UIs are almost identical. And I think the 8K, the 4K at 60, these are some really strong resolutions. And between both, maybe the S21 Ultras is better, but I think, both of them are almost exactly the same. 4K at 60 on the front and almost exactly the same front cameras as well. And that's a good thing, even though there was a little bit less innovation this year than last year for the cameras, I'll take it. This is a very solid camera and I'm glad Samsung, improved it. And I'm glad they put 8K on all their cameras this time and not just like saved it for the Plus or Ultra models. So I think in terms of the camera setup, Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra wins, but the S20 Ultra is like 99% of what that phone is. So in terms of that pretty much covers up the camera standpoint. Now